ICE agents repeatedly ordered her to get out of the car and to stop obstructing law enforcement, but she refused to obey their commands. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle, and she attempted to run a law enforcement officer over. This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents, an act of domestic terrorism.
Yes, Kristi Noem, because a legal observer watching ICE agents do their job only to retreat and flee for her life whenever they come and attack her for doing so, yeah, that's domestic terrorism. To a T.
No!
It is quite obvious in the video that Renee Good was braking. She was hitting the brakes. She was trying to retreat. She even turns the vehicle away from the officers. While what Renee Good may have done is not domestic terrorism, the crime that Jonathan Ross has committed surely must be. Killing innocent civilians is not in the manual. Hello and welcome back to Liberated Minds. Today, we will be going over the Siege of Minneapolis.
There's news. Fox News alert: an unlawful assembly declared in Minneapolis after thousands of anti-ICE protesters hit the streets in response to the fatal shooting of Renee Good.
It's the right thing to do. We've got to stand up for our neighbors. We've got to stand up for our city.
Well, it is unacceptable that our government comes in and takes people off the streets.
Those are the voices of Minneapolis. They asked for justice, but the government didn't send negotiators, they sent an army. We aren't talking about a few dozen officers to help with patrols. We are talking about 2,000 federal agents. That is more than the entire police force of most American cities. They flew them in from the border, they pulled them from special tactical units, and they didn't bring clipboards. They brought heavy armor. Think about that number. 2,000. You don't send 2,000 soldiers to investigate a traffic stop. You send 2,000 soldiers when you are planning to take a city. And they found the perfect legal cover to do it. It's called the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. It allows the president to detain non-citizens without trial during an invasion. So they declared Minneapolis a hostile zone, and just like that, the Constitution didn't apply here anymore. Now, this isn't a new policy. This is the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. It is the same law they used to put Japanese Americans into camps in 1942. And it has a very specific trigger. The law says the president can detain anyone without trial if there is an invasion or a predatory incursion against the United States territory. Now, you might ask, what invasion? We aren't at war with Canada. We aren't at war with Mexico. That's the trick. In March 2025, the administration declared that criminal gangs were foreign armies conducting an invasion. By changing the definition of one word, they gave themselves the power to treat Minneapolis like a battlefield. At first, they sold it to us as a necessary evil. They told us this new designation was only for the worst of the worst. The cartels, the violent syndicates, and the people we all want off the streets. But that was the bait. You need to read the fine print. The new order doesn't just target the army, it targets their support network. And in the eyes of the state, a support network can be redefined to mean almost anything. A church basement providing sanctuary? That's not charity anymore. That is a forward operating base. A medic handing out water to protesters? You aren't just a volunteer. Under this act, you are a logistical supply line for a hostile force. They didn't rewrite the law to stop crime. They rewrote it so that being a good neighbor is now an act of treason. And if you think you're safe just because you aren't in a gang, you haven't been paying attention. Thank you as always for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.